This is lesson 4 for 8th grade, and just like we were doing in lesson 3, we're going to be talking about some more word problems, except for today we're going to be doing multiplying and dividing. So basically what I'm going to do is we're going to go over 5 different examples, something that the students might run into that deal with dividing and multiplying, mostly division. And we'll just see how we set those up and how to solve for those. So we'll jump into our first example here. It says, in an auditorium, the chairs are arranged in rows with 25 chairs in each row. If there are 675 total, how many rows of chairs are there? Alright, this is a classic division problem. We've got 675 chairs total and 25 in each row. Each row, total chairs. Now we want to figure out how many rows we can get within that 675 chairs. So, in order to figure that out, we figure out how many chairs will go in each row from 675. So, we know 25 goes into 67 twice. 3 times 25, 50. Subtract 17, drop our 5 down, 175. 25 goes into 175, I believe, let's see, 7? Yeah, 7 sounds right. 7 times? 7 times 5, 35. 7 times 2, 14, plus 3, subtract 0. So, 27 rows with 25 chairs. Now to make sure that we got the right answer, we could do 25 times 27 and we should get 675. So, I won't go through and do that, but that's one way you can check it. Okay. Oops. Alright, now we're talking in the classroom. In a classroom there are 30 rows of tiles on the floor. If each row contains 35 tiles, how many total tiles are there in the classroom? Well, now we're looking for a total amount of tiles. Okay? So it sounds like we've got 30 rows. So we're going to have 30 rows. And that'll keep going on. And each row contains 35 tiles. So if we look at one row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to keep going on. And that's going to go on like this, like this. We can see that it's starting to kind of look like, almost like a times table anyway. So that should be an indicator for us that we're going to have a certain amount of rows this way, a certain amount of rows this way. We could count each tile if we wanted to, but that would take a long time. So we are going to multiply instead. So what we have here is 30 rows, each with 35 tiles, and we're going to multiply. So 5 times 0, 5 times 3 is 15, add our 0, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 3 is 9, add 5, 10. So we should have 1,050 tiles. Alright? On to our next one here. Alright, this one has some practical use for your sporting fan. If you purchase 4 tickets to the Twins game and the total cost is $460, what is the price of each ticket? This will be useful for this situation, maybe going out to eat, splitting the bill between your friends, that type of thing. Either way, we know we're trying to figure out the price of each so that we all pay a fair amount. So we will be splitting this up, which means division again. So 4 goes into 460. How many times? Subtract. Drop our 6 down. 4 goes into 6 once. 1 times 4. Subtract again, we get 2. Drop this down. 20. 4 goes into 25 times. Evenly. Subtract, we get 0. So each ticket $115. Those better be some good seats. Okay. Last example here. It might have been 4, maybe not 5. This is a good one to look at. So the clerk was sorting 375 quarters into groups of 35, so that she could put them in rolls. How many rolls can she fill with the quarters? This is another division problem, and we want to figure out how many of these quarters we can group into 35s so that we can get them into the rolls. So let's start by doing 35 and 375. How many of those go into 375? 35 goes into 37 once. We do our subtraction, 25. 35 does not go into 25, so we put a 0 and a decimal. And we'll drop this down. 35 goes into 250 a certain amount of times. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we will get a remainder. So here's the big thing. 10, remainder, something. So we know that at this point we can fill up 10 rolls of 35 quarters. And I believe that would leave us 25 quarters left over. 35 times 10. That gives us 350. So 350 of those quarters can be put into rolls, and that leaves us 25 left over. Either way, that's not the big idea here. The big question is, how many rolls can she fill? Well, she can only fill 10 because 25 is not enough to get us another set of 35. So those are just a couple examples for our division and multiplying examples. And the assignment is out on the web for lesson 4, and we will continue with lesson 5 tomorrow.